Well, we still have to do this bit. Yeah. Ah, the Pope has one eye! I have been waiting for you, William, since we first met at the Skull Desert Temple. Yes, I remember. You said, come to me. Did you know we were headed this way? Not for sure, because nothing is ever certain on Mildred's Gars. But I felt a strong premonition. My name is... I am... Omot Exaisus, the uncle of General Kobold, the Empire's strongman in Scudulia. What? That's right. Now that you know my biggest secret, I need you to listen for a minute. Your name's Brian, right? Correct? Alright, considering who I am, I have a most unusual request. I want you to stop my nephew, Kobold, before his dark, twisted ambitions destroy Mildred's Gars. So, if you are the Gunarium, what does all this mean? I don't understand anything. That includes your apparition-like appearance in the Skull Desert Temple, the Executor Sword. Also the source and ascendancy of your Galarian base, the Empire. I could go on and on. Other than Biphomia's ambitions to conquer Mildred's Gars, why has Scudia become the battlefield? Biphomia is just a convenient tool, a starting point. Have you heard of the Four Sages? Of course, it's the ultimate doomsday weapon, unleashed during the Millennium War. But no one is sure if it really happened or if it's propaganda the Gulnarium used to terrorize. Propaganda? If that was the case, how would you explain the sudden rise of the Gulnarium? No one can answer that for sure, because the war raged so long, many accounts were lost. But people accept that the Phantom Zone, thousands of barren islands in the ocean, actually exist. This area of near total devastation lies just east of Biphomia, the Faustian continent and a motherland of the Empire. Yes, the book was mentioned the capital of a human-centered superpower in that region. Large continent that once led Mildred's Gars in all fields of multi-species endeavors. But now, as we know, no life exists in the Phantom Zone, not even a single blade of grass. That's because someone employed the Four Sages, also known as the End of Times weapon. Nuclear bomb? Or maybe Aggressor used but one of its four components, the outcome being obvious. The obliteration of an entire continent due to the explosive energy of the Executor Sword. At some point, the Gulnarium species somehow spawned or originated in that region. There is this that the predecessors of the Gulnarium species were the culprits. The ones who employed the Four Sages and fragmented an entire continent. But we don't really know when our mutation occurred, resulting in our present form. It could have been either before or after someone wielded the ultimate doomsday weapon. Tell us more about this ultimate weapon legend. The literal translation reads, "The chosen convicts fabricated for all-powerful artifacts, for the purpose of remaking Mildred's Gars and..." Stop right there, Mr. Pope. None of this is making any sense to me. Which part, my entity young warrior? All of it. Who chose this bunch? And why convicts? Were they criminals or just deliriums? It's metaphorical, but I'll offer my interpretation. The Who is likely a supernatural evil being. As for convicts, anyone can be a prisoner, perhaps in a cell, or even inside his own narrow mind. Yikes, what a stab at aim that is. More bullshit, your popeness. Is it really? Think. Some are calling your friend Brian a hero. Do you agree? Hell yeah! Doesn't he prove it on the battlefield time and time again? Well, did you not break him out of a prison cell as a convicted criminal sentenced to death? Yeah. And even though your exploits have been heroic, haven't some of you been reluctant heroes? What can I say? We didn't come to Scalia seeking fame. It just sort of happened. That's besides the point. But do you really believe it was just random? Consider this first. Hero or convict? It's a matter of point of view, and who turns the rudder of history. But over time, the litmus test boils down to justice versus tyranny, and good versus evil. Man, this shit is so heavy, my head hurts. Mine too, sometimes. But I am carrying most of that heavy load inside of my heart. So that bit about remaking the world. One man's remake may be another man's devastation? That is right. Except God may be the one who ultimately can pass judgment on Mildred's scars. Damn, words don't always mean what they say, do they? Amen, son. So I believe I have it too. This cute sword is just wonderful sages. And nephew Kobold has been corrupted by an ancient supernatural being who is not God. Following in the footsteps of his convict forebears, whose labours he plans to harness, by turning Scludia into a new phantom zone. I can confirm that is Kobold's precise objective. I just know he has slumped to the dark side. Something ominous is brewing. But if you stop Kobold, all of your bases will be covered. What about the missing 3 components of the 4 sages? You haven't identified those? Unknown at this time, but since we're dealing with sets of 4s... Yes, the 4 Commodores must figure into Kobold's plot in some manner. Exactly. You must vanquish the 4 Commodores before you can even reach my nephew. If his henchmen are involved in a larger scale, one dedicated to obtain additional artifacts, eliminating the 4 Commodores may negate the threat of an unprecedented world cataclysm. You must know where your heart lies. Will you accept the protection of our new nation? No, I will be safe here. To put it in military parlance, this is my duty station. A seal protects this temple from evil. It will be standing long after Kobold and I are gone. What? Do not worry about me, son. As long as I remain here, Kobold cannot touch me. I've shared many details that an average soldier would not need to know. Why? Because you are not an average soldiers, but... Oh no. Don't put this B on us again about being God's chosen warriors of destiny. Fine. Instead of telling you that, I'll ask you to think about something. Like what? As you travel around Scalia and witness how the people are languishing under the Empire, ask yourselves this question every single day. Was it destiny or chance that led to your encounters with Andrea Balzac and me? And what else? There is nothing else. The choices you make belong to you as well as the results. If you believe it was chance, then don't stay involved in the conflict. Allow the world to run on the path already laid before it. But if you decide it was destiny, are you man enough to change the course of history? Are you tough enough to save the president? That is literally a tagline for a game. Nothing has been written, so don't expect me to share a divination of a happy ending. Whatever happens will be the consequences of the choices you people make every day. Damn it, Your Holiness! I would feel more comfortable if you tried to tell us what to do. That's not my place, my son. It's a matter between you, your conscience, and God. Good luck. What a dickhead. Oh, Jesus. Once we freed Pope Omot from the military occupation of the evil platforming empire, or more precisely, Kobol's attempted manipulation of his influential uncle, our Lake-Cool operations ended on a better note than the provisional government expected. The Pope not only supported our movement, he asked us to defeat his nephew, the villain Kobold. But our feeling of victory was offset by the grim reminder of the Executor's potential power, not to mention the spectre of a quaternary doom, should Kobold gather all four sages. As we marched in the wilderness, the magnitude of consequences weighed heavily on us all. Whenever I contemplated the obsession of my old friend Tusk, even though he might be dead, a sense of anxiety descended upon me, forcing me to concentrate harder on my duty. My responsibility to lead the guerrilla unit safely through unfamiliar terrain. Still, the crushing reality that Kobold might destroy everything I held dear on no scars caused me sleepless nights, but I pressed onward, attempting to conceal my restiveness, knowing I would not relax until we solved that whole mystery of the four sages, and hopefully seal their destructive power forever. I kept these musings private, unable to share them even with my best friend Aim.